Hello everyone, my name is Kirandeep Kaur and in this video we are going to talk about managing stress. So stress is something we all go through, be it a young student who is maybe in class 7th or 8th or 9th, or maybe a student who is in college, or somebody who is in the workplace, or even elder than that. Everybody, whoever is dealing, who is there, who is out there, who is dealing with people, who is dealing with maybe who is working somewhere or who is into studying or doing some course, everybody faces stress, everybody goes through stress. But yes, it is different for everyone. For one, something happened and that may not cause any kind of stress, but for the other person it could be something very very stressful. So but if we have control on ourselves, on our mind, and we know how to manage it, then we will be able to handle it in a much better way. So in this video we are going to learn everything about it. So first we'll be learning why stress management. Why do we even need to know about managing stress? Because as we know, we need to manage something only if it is important to us. हम manage सिर्फ उस चीज को करते हैं जो हमारे लिए important होती है. और of course stress ऐसी चीज नहीं है जो हम कोई भी संभाल के रखना चाहते हैं. We want to save it. Then why do we even need to manage it? Then what causes stress? What are the causes? क्या causes होते हैं stress के? Then types of stress. Even stress के types भी होते हैं. We're going to see that. Then effects of stress. What are the different type of effects of stress? Then stress management tips and the conclusion. So first is why stress management. But before talking about why we need to learn about stress management, I want to talk about what is stress basically. So stress is basically our bodies or our basically our physical and mental reaction to the environment. Now it can be something, maybe it can be a demand, or maybe we need to meet a deadline, or it can be a conflict with somebody we are close to. Though all those things, how if it affects us, and how we react to it mentally, how our body reacts to it, maybe to an injury or maybe to a surgery or maybe to physical exertion, all these things come under stress. So stress is the response to demanding or challenging situations. So any demanding or challenging situation, whenever we face any such situation, our body's reaction to it is basically stress. And it is a natural reaction that our mind and our body undergo whenever we are faced with perceived threats, whenever we feel that there is some kind of stress. Maybe we know that I might lose my job. Now that thing, that is like a stress to me because that will affect my financial stability and I will get affected by it in a very in a lot, in a very bad manner. So that thing is basically a reason for stress. In the same way, any pressure, maybe there is some work pressure, maybe there is some emotional pressure in a relationship or maybe with a family member, so all those things can even lead to stress. Then or changes that require adjustment. So if there is some kind of change, maybe a change of city or maybe a change of job, even these kind of demanding situations can lead to a lot of stress. So now we come to the main topic, that is stress management. So stress management skills are an essential soft skills. So whatever I am teaching you in my module is basically everything that comes under soft skills. So even stress management is a skill and it is a part of soft skills. And it basically contribute to an individual's overall well-being and professional success. So if you know how to manage, how to deal with stress, it will add up, and even it will make a lot of things easier for you both in your personal life and in your professional life. So first we need to understand what are the things that causes stress. हम stress क्यों होते हैं, हमें क्या क्या चीजें होती हैं जो हमें stressed कर देती हैं. First is work. Work is something that causes a lot of stress. If everything is good, which is actually not possible, this is life. First of all, we need to accept and understand that this is life. Everything will not go on smoothly. This is a life lesson. And work is one of the reasons of stress. If maybe you had a conflict with someone, if there is a lot of pressure, or maybe there is no work life balance, all these things might lead to stress. Then it can be financial pressure. Maybe you are having some financial crunch, so maybe you're going through something in your personal life where you need to spend a lot of money and you are not able to earn that much. So those kind of situation can also lead to stress. Then relationship issues, it can be with your family members or your loved ones, it can be with anyone. So even those are the reasons of stress. Then your academic demands for students, a lot of students feel very stressed before exams, before there may be their board exams or even their mid sems. A lot of students feel that how will I be able to write in my exam, how will I be able to score. I want to be in the first 3 or maybe the first 10 students, so how will I be able to score that much. So they feel a lot of stress before their exams. So even academic pressure can also lead to stress. Then major life changes, suppose you're going to get married next year, or maybe in a month. Next year is a way too long time to be stressed, but maybe in 1 month, after 1 or 2 months, you're going to get married. So even that can lead to stress because it will be a major life change for you. Also, maybe you're going to shift to another city, that can also be a reason of stress. Then negative self talk. Now some people are in a habit to talk negatively to themselves. Maybe if they see a challenging situation, rather than keeping their hopes high, they start feeling negative, they start thinking negative, they start thinking that I won't be able to do it, I won't be able to go through it. So this kind of negative talk also leads to a lot of stress. Then unrealistic expectations. So expectations, we all must have read somewhere or the else that expectations always leads to disappointments, that leads to stress. So if you are keeping unrealistic expectations from people, from things, from situations, it might lead to stress. It is one of the major reasons of stress. Then lack of assertiveness. If you don't know how to say no at the right time, even that kind of situation may later lead to guilt, and that may lead to stress. So even if you are not having assertiveness, this will lead to stress. Then ineffective coping strategies. If you are in a habit to indulge into ineffective coping strategies, suppose if you are facing a challenging situation, so rather than thinking about it in a positive way, or maybe talking to somebody you rely on, you just go start drinking, or maybe you start smoking. So if you indulge yourself in such coping inefficient coping activities, even that may lead to a lot of stress later on. Then emotional factors, you are dealing with a lot of things on an emotional level, maybe you're going through some traumatic situation, or any kind of personal problems, even that can affect you emotionally, and that may lead to stress. Also health issues, if you are facing some health issues, if you're not if you're not feeling that healthy physically or mentally from a long time, that can also lead to stress. Then social stressors, societal expectations, for maybe for girls or for boys who have reached a certain age and people are expecting them to get married, that can also be a reason of stress. Or maybe if it is expected out of them that they should get a well settled job, they should get into a well settled job, and they are not able to achieve that right now, even that can be a reason of stress. So any kind of societal stress, social stressors or societal expectations, even that leads to stress. Then technology overload, if you indulge in to technology way too much, if you're too much on your phone, too much involved in social media, you're spending way too much time on the social media apps, even this can lead to stress. Then environmental factors and pessimistic mindset, if you have a negative mindset, then you will automatically be in a habit to think negative about every situation, about everything, which will automatically lead to a lot of stress. So these are some of the major reasons of stress. It can, there are many more, but these are some major reasons. You need to first understand, you need to first, why I have explained this to you is because once we know the reason, once we know the cause, only then we'll be able to take some corrective measures to have a control over it. That is why, just, it is sort of an activity for you, I would say, that you need to first jot down your stressors, your personal stressors, which can be any of these. You have to write it down under what category it comes in, and then we'll discuss after this slide that how can we deal with it. Next is types of stress. Now those were the reasons of stress. Now we'll be talking about the types of stress. How many types of stress are there basically? So the first is the acute stress. Acute stress means a short-lived stress. It is a short-term stress. Maybe you had an argument with someone, maybe you had a fight with someone, or maybe there is some deadline you need to meet, or maybe there is some conflicting situation in your family or in your workplace that you have to deal with. So all these reasons can lead to acute stress. Basically this kind of stress subsides with time once the event is done, when you have once you have dealt with the situation. It is a short duration of stress. Then chronic stress. Chronic stress, as the name suggests, is a long term stress. It is a persistent stress. So if you are, maybe it can, the reasons can be maybe some relationship problems, or maybe some financial issues, or maybe it can be some work related problems. If you're facing these kind of problems from a very long time, it might lead to a chronic stress, a stress that is, persistent from a very very long time. And if this kind of this chronic stress, if this is not addressed at the right time, it can affect you a lot, mentally and physically both. Then physical stress, as again the name suggests, physical stress means your body's reaction to any maybe some exertion or some strain. If you have maybe had an illness, if you have met some, with an accident, or maybe you have undergone a surgery, if you have had an injury, all these things can lead to physical stress. It is basically your body's reaction to any physical exertion or strain. Then it needs to be, of course it needs to be addressed. You should take proper sleep, you should take proper rest to, for your physical stress to subside. Then next is emotional stress. Emotional stress is again our bodies are basically our mental reaction, our emotional reaction to intense emotions. So if we have gone through and sadness or grief or anxiety, all these things lead to emotional stress, a lot of emotional stress. You need to, if it is under control, then it's fine. But if you feel that you are not able to control these kind of emotions, this kind of anxiety, excessive anxiety, then you should definitely consult a specialist. Then environmental stress. Environmental stress is caused by the external factors, like a lot of pollution, noise, then a lot of crowd. If you go to somewhere and there is a crowd, a lot of crowd, then this might lead to that uneasiness and stress. Then work related stress, so we very well understand, as the name suggests, so any kind of stress that is caused due to your work related things. So it can be a conflict with a colleague, it can be a lot of workload overload, then it can be unrealistic expectations from you in your workplace. Then even if there is no work life balance, all these things leads to finally your work related stress. Then relationship stress, so all the personal relationships, interpersonal relationships, if you have problems in these kind of relationships, then this might lead to your relationship stress. These things can lead to a lot of stress. Then financial stress, if you have had a financial crunch, if you are facing problem in finding a good earning source for yourself, you're not able to meet your financial needs, your requirements, your demands in the family, then this may lead to financial stress. Then the last one is academic stress. Students go through academic stress as they have to write exams from time to time. So they feel that they have some expectations from themselves. No matter how naughty the student is, every student has some expectations from themselves, and even their teachers, their mentors, their family has some expectations from them. So that kind of leads to pressure, and they feel that they have to do very well in their exams to score, you know in the first three, to come in the first three, top three students, or the top 10 students. So that sometimes lead to academic stress. So these are a few types of stress. Next is effects. So what is the effect of stress? How stress affects us? So stress can have various physical, mental, and emotional effects on an individual. Basically, it affects the whole person, the personality of the person even. So let's talk about the physical effects first. So if you are having stress from a very long time, if you are facing stress, if you're going through a lot of things, then it might lead to increased heart rate and blood pressure, BP. We all have seen, we all have heard in our relatives, in our close ones, that they have blood pressure. This is actually a cause of stress, a lot of stress. So increased heart rate, BP, is a result of stress. It is a body's reaction. Then muscle tension and pain. If you all of a sudden start feeling pain in your lower back, or maybe if you feel your stomach is upset, all these things can also be a reason of stress. Then weakened immune system. Stress actually weakens our immune system. It is scientifically proven, because if you're not free from here, if you're not positive from here, it will affect your immune system. That will automatically spoil your health, which we don't want. So it we need to take control over it. Then digestive issues. You will start facing gut related problems if you are going through stress from a very long time. Then sleep disturbances. This is the first effect of stress that we see, that we can analyze, we can understand from this one trait. Because if we are going through something and we are not able to sleep at night, this means something is affecting us way too much. That is stress. So the stress first affects your sleep schedule. So sleep, you start facing irregular sleep. You start facing either you won't be able to sleep at all, or you will sleep way too much. So you will definitely notice some kind of change in your sleeping pattern. Then next is mental effects. So what are the mental effects, how it affects mentally? First is anxiety and worry. Again, the first thing that we can feel once if we are going through something, that is anxiety and worry. We will start feeling anxious, very very anxious. We might feel that we are short of breath. So these things are a sign of stress. Then difficulty concentrating. We won't be able to concentrate on something. We won't be able to give our 100% attention to something, because our mind is somewhere else. Then memory problems. You won't be able to retain things. This is again an effect of stress. Then decision making difficulty. You will be very indecisive. You will start feeling that you're not able to take the right decisions. You might feel that you are always doubting your decisions. Then racing thoughts. You will feel multiple thoughts going on in your mind again and again. So this is again an effect of stress. Then how does stress affects us emotionally? On an emotional level, you will face mood swings. These days it is very common. If you even think about your friends, your close ones, you must have heard somebody or the else telling you that I am going through mood swings. I'm feeling very moody today. Why? Because it is something related to their mental health. It is definitely stress. So stress leads to mood swings. We feel that we are getting very moody at times. Then depression. You might feel that you are depressed, you're not happy with anything, you will not feel energetic at all. That is again a very very adverse effect of stress. Feeling of overwhelm. You will feel overwhelmed, you will feel way too much. If you are happy, you will feel too happy. If you are sad, it will again be too much for you. So everything will be a bit overwhelming for you. Then reduced motivation. You will not feel that motivated. emotionally. Then decreased self esteem, it will definitely decrease your self esteem. It will affect your level of confidence if you have been facing stress from a very long time. Now, as we have seen the reasons of stress, the types of stress, and then especially the effects, the physical, mental, and emotional effects of stress, we definitely now need to see how can we control it, how can we manage it, how can, because we cannot stay away from stress. That is why I use the term stress management, because stress is actually in a way a part of our life, because like in, let's accept it, this is life, and it is not possible that everything will go on smoothly with us. We will face some problems, but we should know how to deal with it and how to look for solutions. So let's see how to actually manage stress, how to deal with stress so that it doesn't affect us mentally, emotionally, and physically. So the first is self awareness. You need to be self aware. You should know your plus and your minus. You should know your strength, your weaknesses, your threats, and your opportunities. These are the four things that you need to understand about yourself. If you are self aware, you will be able to think in a in a better way. You will be see things on a broader level, and that will help you with your stress management. Then the next is time management. Time, if see why I'm saying time management, because time, not being able to manage time in a proper way is also one of the biggest reasons of stress. So once you have a control over your schedule, if you know how to manage your time, if you know that okay, this I have these 12 hours, and 20, in which 12 hours is for everything else, for the rest of the things, and 12 hours I have to work on something, maybe you have a target for you, and you have 12 hours in a day. So for that you can, divide your time accordingly as per your needs, and then you can work on it. This will help you, that it will make you feel positive, that once you go to bed you will feel positive, you will feel energetic for the next day, and that will help you with managing your stress. And this, actually, time is one of the major reasons. Not being able to meet actually not being able to manage your time is one of the biggest reasons of stress. So try to be good at managing time, and your 50% stress will be gone. Then exercise. I am pretty sure that most of you must have read it somewhere, that exercising is one of the best ways to deal with stress, with any kind of emotional baggage. So exercise daily. You can do workout, you can even do yoga, whatever you like. Just make sure that your body is moving. Get moving. Do some kind of exercise. Then self care. If you like to listen to music, if you like to go out for a walk, if you like to spend time with family, or if it is, maybe it is just going out, taking yourself for a dinner, for a lunch, anything, whatever you feel, whatever makes you feel good, do that, because that will help you feel much better. It will make you feel very, very positive, and that will help you deal with the stress. Then the next is flexibility and adaptability. Like I said, accept things as they are, because everything is not in our control. It is very natural for all of us. Like I said in the starting, one thing, that even if it is a small student, who maybe a child who is in class 6th or 7th or 8th, even that student faces some kind of stress. So it is very common at all the age groups. But what we need to do is, we need to start accepting things. We need to start being flexible, and that will ease up that rigidity, which will automatically help us with the stress. Then set boundaries. Learn to say no when needed. Make sure that just don't be a people pleaser, that what whoever comes to you and expects something from you, you will say yes to everybody. No, this will affect you emotionally and mentally, and then it will lead to a lot of stress. It will affect you even physically. That is why set boundaries for yourself. Know when you want to say yes and when you want to say no, and then accordingly react and respond. Then relaxation techniques. Indulge yourself in relaxation techniques. Do meditation. Meditation actually helps a lot with stress. Also do yoga, whatever, or listen to a good music, a positive music, and you will feel much better. Then seek professional help. Just in case none of these help you, just please go for professional doctors, meet them, talk to them, go for counseling, and it helps you a lot in a short duration, and then you will be able to deal with things in a better way. With this, we come to the end of the video. So self stress management is a continuous process that requires practice and self reflection. By developing these soft skills, you can enhance your ability to cope with stress, maintain well being, and excel in both your personal and professional life. So, it is something that we deal in our life almost daily. We daily feel a lot of problems. We daily feel that, okay, this is not as per my requirement. I wanted it to happen like this, and this is not going as per my expectation, but it is okay. Be flexible, adapt things as they are, and accept things as they are, and try to manage stress and try to apply those tips and tricks that I have given you. And just make sure to jot down first all the types of stress, the reasons of your stress, and then take corrective measures for it, and accept it that it is an ongoing process. You need to learn manage stress better, and that will help you both professionally and personally. Thank you so much. I hope this video helped you. Do subscribe to our channel. Thank you.